Hello Vector Strikers, Retrospect here. Wanted to make a quick little video with 10 tips, kind of outlining some of the things that a new player should look into, new player can work on in order to feel a little bit more comfortable and advance with the game. Number one is practice tool. Obviously from the home screen, you can go into practice, solo practice here. And this tool is completely invaluable. You can do so much with it. Hopefully, there's some more options that could be added in the future. If you jump in here initially, you're going to have, a bunch of bots to play along with. But if you hit escape, you can go to remove all bots. If you want to, you can add just a goalie bot so that you can practice shooting against the goalie. But practice tool is huge. For a lot of us that played in the beta before early access, queue times were, sometimes 20 minutes plus. They were very, very long, much longer than they are even now. So what we did is, or a lot of us did, is spend a lot of time in this practice tool. It's kind of messing around with the mechanics of the game. Unfortunately now, it kind of just puts you in the tutorial and then says, hey, go into a game against real people, and sometimes that can be frustrating. So utilize this practice tool. There's a lot of things you can do just to get comfortable with the game. There's a few controls in the practice tool that you should be comfortable with. The G button on your keyboard will self-pass you the ball from anywhere. So whether you're on the ground or you're like up here in the air, it'll kind of pass it to you. So that can be really helpful for quickly practicing certain things. Things like passing it off the wall to yourself and catching it. Things like shooting, things like working on different abilities. But this practice tool is huge, and the more comfortable you are with the controls and the more comfortable you are with your chosen character, it's going to translate into games much better. So that's number one. Number two is preserve ammo. And when I say preserve ammo, I mean not just for your long shot, but also for your breaker shot. Now you have a limited number of this, a limited amount of this ammo, and as you've probably noticed, few minutes or a minute into the game or so, you're like, oh no, I've ran out of ammo. And yeah, running to a corner is definitely possible to do that, but sometimes you just don't get the opportunity. When the pressure is on and your team needs you to be a certain place, you can't do that every 30 seconds or so. So making sure that you're preserving your ammo and only shooting when you have to. If this is my defender back here and the ball is rolling towards them, a lot of times I'm not going to want to shoot the ball. Yeah, I can pass it back and kind of get to them faster, and there are times, especially with communication, where that can be helpful, but you don't want to accidentally, score it on yourself, score it on your own team because your goalie wasn't expecting you to hit. With that said, too, the other team's going to be shooting at the ball as well, so making sure that you're kind of in communication with that when that happens, and only shooting when you have to. If on the other side, if the ball's all the way up here, and I'm playing goalkeeper or I'm defending or something like that, and there's 3 people on the ball right now, I probably don't need to shoot at the ball. Maybe there's a chance that I can angle it in or, help with the pass, and you have to kind of be the judge of whether that's useful or not. But a lot of times just sitting and chilling and waiting, you'll preserve your ammo. Another good way to preserve your ammo is to, utilize both guns. There's a reason that you have the breaker shot. When I started playing, I know I barely used it. I didn't really understand, how useful it is, and it's incredibly useful. If the goalie picks up the ball and you're close, you can break it and shoot it right off the bat. It's very, very useful when you get into skirmishes, when you're close to somebody. So, it is a close range gun. Use it when you're close range with enemies to clear the ball, to play defense. It's really, really powerful. So you preserve your ammo, you last a little bit longer. It can help too if you have somebody like the hand on your team who can refill your ammo with the Z button. But you're not always going to have that. And, you kind of got to be in communication too, so that it's used effectively. Because if one person's running themselves out of ammo in, 30 seconds, but your other 2 teammates are preserving it, using it might not be the best, use of it. So make sure you're preserving as much as you can. Number 3 is going to be controls and sensitivity. So there's a few extra controls that the tutorial doesn't necessarily show you or doesn't tell you kind of how to use, and they have niche purposes, but things you should know. So middle mouse button will let you drop the ball like right where you're holding it. This can have some uses, especially with some more advanced mechanics. I mean, one thing you can do is you can kind of drop it and then, you know, dash into the ball and do some kind of cool stuff with that. You can, you know, maybe you're up here at the goal and you're above the goal or something and you want to go for some crazy shot. There are opportunities where you can turn around, actually throw it underneath you. You know, you can throw it over your head to a teammate. You know, there's a lot of cool niche things that you can do with these controls that, you know, you got to think about. Another one, obviously, is just dashing into the ball in general. It's something that, you know, I think it might mention in the tutorial, but it doesn't really explain kind of like how effective it is. It can be very, very useful. You get a pass from somebody over here and you want to quickly shoot it, because, you know, if I have to click and do this, I either have to you know, really aim perfectly and hope that it's fast enough, but kind of just turning and angling it and giving it a little curve is going to give you a lot more control over the ball, and you'll be able to do a lot faster, and it's a lot more unpredictable. So that's definitely another control to be aware of. You also can slide. I'll be completely honest, there are some people in the Discord that are a lot more versed on using slide, but you can use it to kind of preserve your momentum. Maybe you're falling from, you know, a weird spot, or you're coming down here on the side of the map here. You know, using slide can help to kind of keep that momentum and give you some extra speed and keep you in the game longer. So that's kind of it for the main controls that I think kind of get missed a little bit. Next is going to, sensitivity I wanted to mention really quick too. So there's a lot of things in this game that are going to require you to whip your controller or your mouse around the screen really quickly. You know, I think I did a tutorial a little bit ago about, you know, how to do the ball hop. You can take a look at that if you want to, but having high sensitivity makes that much more bearable, especially in the middle of a game, because in the middle of a fast-paced game, like, you don't have time to like drag your mouse like this and then set up and then, you know, do a ball hop or do any kind of tech like that. At the same time, you know, the dashes that we talked about, like, you have to move the mouse pretty quickly to be able to do that. So having a decently high sensitivity can definitely help. I'm running 800 DPI, and then in the settings here I've got 1.3 for both my Y and X sensitivity. That seems to work for me, but do what works for you and gives you enough control. Next is going to be to spread out and prioritize passing. So if you have 3 people on the ball, you probably don't, you know, 2 teammates maybe and an opponent, you don't need to be there. Spread out, keep away from your teammates so that your teammate that has the ball has the option to pass. If you have too many people clumped up, it's just going to turn into chaos, and, you know, even if your team gets the ball, they're not going to be able to do anything with it except, you know, Hail Mary shot on the goal, and if their goalie has any hands at all, it's not going to go in. So spread out, give your teammates opportunities to pass. That's going to make your life a lot easier. I know it could be hard when your teammates aren't passing or when they're not really playing how you want them to, but trust me, it's a good habit to get into, and it's going to make playing games as you start to climb up and, you know, feel more comfortable. It's going to be a lot better. You're going to make a lot more friends passing too than, you know, going for some crazy shot when your teammate's wide open in front of the net. So keep that in mind. Number 5 is going to be kind of tied to that. So teaming up with friends and using Discord. So the community on Discord for Vector Strike, if you haven't already joined it, you should definitely join it. You're going to be able to get tips from from other players. You're going to be able to find teammates to play with, and playing with a group of people can make not only, you know, it's going to make the games easier, but you're gonna have more fun. It's just the truth. You know, it doesn't matter if they play the same character as you. One of you can just, you know, figure it out, just do something, but play with other people. It's just gonna make it so much better, I promise. When I was solo queuing, when the game dropped in early access, it was okay and I had fun, but it became 10 times better once I started to queue up with other people, especially in the Discord. And there's so many resources on there as well. You're gonna be able to see you know, updates and stuff coming soon, and clips from other people, and a lot of fun stuff going on there. Next is going to be 6 is join the community, so it's kind of tied to that Discord thing. You know, if you haven't joined the Discord, Vector Strike, definitely do it. Along with that last tip too, if you are playing with friends, if you can get into a voice call with them, it's going to make a big difference too. Um, Having communication of like, hey, I'm open, or, obviously you've got the Q button. I think I forgot to mention that earlier, but if you hit the Q button, your character's going to say over here. You can see that on the left, and then you're going to have a light flashing above your character, so it's going to be easier to see for them to pass it to you. But if you're in communication, if you're in voice chat with them, you can kind of communicate that stuff. You can mention, when you have your abilities up and things like that. It's just going to make it a lot easier, and it's going to be more enjoyable, I mentioned. So number 7, play diverse characters and experiment. Right here, I'm playing as the Hand, and on an initial looking at this character, you might think like he's really defensive, right? He's got a lot of support and utility with his ammo for the team, and you can use the Hand to kind of save balls that are coming in, or to pass to your teammates or something like that. But believe it or not, you can actually you can do a lot more. This game is designed to where the characters are designed to be used anywhere, in any position, and you can still get a lot of value and create unique opportunities with them. One more really quickly control that I forgot to mention with the practice tool is the B button. So the B button in here is going to let you make your abilities have a shorter cooldown. So as you can see, my Hand is now like on a 3-second cooldown, whereas it's normally like 35 seconds. So pressing the B button will make practice tool a lot easier too. But you can play the Hand offensively. You can throw it up here and go for like some shot or a pass off the wall. There's some pretty cool tech that I've been working on where you throw it up your hand, you throw it down, and you kind of dash into the ball. Really, really difficult to do, and I am not consistent at it at all, but there's some cool stuff you can do. Don't sleep on thinking that one character has to be defensive or one character has to be offensive. You can play Lisa in goalie and do absolutely great. She's got 2 dashes. She can get from one end of the goal to the other really, really quickly. With her EF combo, you can launch the ball to the other side of the field really easily. So play different characters, experiment, and don't feel like you are only good at one character. That's just not how the game works. Like most of the gameplay, the core gameplay mechanic is not revolving around your abilities. It's on your own skill in the character, or instead of the character. And next, I've got number 8, play around ability cooldowns. So this is a little bit more of an advanced mechanic, but especially if you're playing with friends and you're communicating and you're really trying to get that edge to where you can play a lot better, play around both your teammates, your teammates, and your opponent's cooldowns. So if you see maybe they've got a Hand in defense or in goalie and they use their ability, that's a 35-second cooldown. That's a long time when rounds or games are 2 minutes and 30 seconds long. Like you're only going to get so many of those off in a game. Same thing with like Juno's grapple. It's a long cooldown. So if you see your opponent use it, and then Dokkaebi value play keeps going on, keep that in mind. You communicate that in comms, and it's gonna make your goalkeeper a lot more comfortable knowing that their Juno doesn't have grapple, and maybe they're standing over here. She knows that your goalkeeper's gonna know that she can't make some insane play with it. So track and play around your enemy cooldowns, and then also your own. If you are playing, somebody will use Juno as another example. You're on the other end of that, and you're playing the Juno, and you use your grapple up here. Maybe you score, or maybe you don't. But then for the next 35 seconds, you don't have grapple. Maybe it might be a good time to use your teleport if you've got your teleport back at defense and play a little bit of defense, play back, play a little bit more safe. You're not going to be able to make as many aggressive plays without that. So utilize that, communicate that with your teammates. It's going to give you a little bit of an extra edge, especially if you come from any other games that utilize cooldown tracking, something like League of Legends or any MOBA, where that becomes really, really important. You can get the same kind of value here. Next is going to be number 8, be unpredictable. This is a game where the things that you can do almost seem endless at times. the different tricks you can go for, the different ways you can shoot, the different ways you can pass. There's so many options. So why do the same thing over and over again? It's only going to make you more predictable, and your opponents, you know, they're going to catch on at some point. So, you know, maybe you always shoot when you get the ball over here. Maybe next time you pass it off the wall, you know, to your teammate that's sitting in the center or something like that. That's going to throw that keeper off. And guess what? If that keeper, you know, expects the shot and goes for like a double breaker shot here when you go to do that, you know, the reload time of the breaker shot is pretty slow. And if you pass that to your teammate and they have an open net on this side, it's just going to be a free goal. So be unpredictable with shots, be unpredictable with your passes, be unpredictable with your goalkeeping. You know, there's a lot of things you can do to keep your opponents guessing and keep you, you know, at the forefront of vector strike. So keep that in mind as you play. And last but not least, number 10 is just have fun. You know, I've got 40 something hours into the game already since early access has launched. I think I am close to just over 2600 LMR. But this rank, and whether you're winning or losing these games, does not matter. Let me say that again. Your rank and whether you're winning or losing in this game does not matter, especially right now when we're in early access and you know, everybody's just kind of getting their bearings. They're kind of figuring stuff out. Play the game, have fun. You're going to be getting a lot better very quickly without even realizing it. Just playing the game and practicing these things is you're going to see yourself improve literally hour by hour. Like it's so crazy how quickly you become comfortable and you're able to do more things. Don't worry about rank. Don't worry about you know, if you feel like you're not good enough or whatever. Like, just keep playing, find cool people to play with. It's going to make the experience more fun, and you know, hopefully Vector Strike can have a really bright future. I'm really looking forward to it. So if there's anything else that I can make a video on that might help, or you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me on the Discord. And once again, see you later.